Have you ever noticed how birthdays sneak up quietly, like a shadow passing over a familiar street, almost unnoticed until you're standing in its middle? That moment, the flicker between yesterday and today, used to feel like magic when you were a child. You didn't just live your birthday, you felt it. The rush of anticipation, the thrum of your own heartbeat, echoing with balloons and candles, the wonder of everyone's eyes turning toward you for one day that belonged entirely to you. Fast forward to adulthood, and that same day passes with the silence of ordinary time. A few notifications, maybe a phone call from your mom, a quick acknowledgement here or there, and you move on. You tell yourself you don't celebrate. You say it's just another day. But beneath that nonchalance lies a quiet story, a hidden psychology of the human heart. People who treat birthdays like normal days aren't cold or indifferent. Often, they're deeply reflective, hardened by the small disappointments of life, aware of how fragile anticipation can be. Birthdays, psychologically speaking, act as mirrors. They reflect our relationship to being seen, to being alive, to being acknowledged. When someone says, "I don't care about my birthday," it can mean one of two things. Either they've stopped needing validation, or they've stopped expecting it. There's a subtle difference between maturity and emotional withdrawal, and birthdays tend to reveal which path we've taken. Some adults outgrow birthday excitement naturally. Their joy isn't tied to a calendar date, but to life itself. Ordinary moments become extraordinary. Routines are celebrated in silent gratitude. To them, every day holds meaning, and happiness isn't scheduled. But for others, birthdays carry invisible weight. They can trigger subtle anxieties, reminders of forgotten years, of unmet expectations, of moments when attention wasn't granted as freely as it was hoped for. In these cases, the shrug of indifference becomes armor, a quiet protection against repeated emotional letdowns. Psychologists call this emotional self-protection, lowering the bar of expectation to safeguard the heart. It is intelligence in disguise, a mind's way of maintaining balance. Yet even protective strategies come with cost. The heart that shields itself sometimes grows too careful. You begin to move through life as a guest in your own story, polite, observant, distant. Many claim not to care, replaying the day in private anyway, noticing who didn't message, who forgot, who was silent. Even pretending indifference is a form of cutting, a reversed, compressed version hidden under composure. Psychologists describe this as avoidant validation behavior. The subtle tendency to convince yourself you need no recognition because part of you fears the sting of absence. It emerges when emotional needs were once inconvenient, when hope often led to disappointment. So when someone treats their birthday like any other day, don't assume detachment. Often, it is mastery over disappointment, an exchange of fleeting excitement for control. And yet, beneath that calm surface lies a quiet truth. Everyone wants to be seen, not praised, not showered with gifts, but truly seen for the being that exists beyond achievements, beyond social expectations. Birthdays are symbolic, mark existence itself. They belong entirely to the person. A reminder that simply being is worth acknowledgement, gratitude, loneliness, reflection, nostalgia. All of these quietly converge, like an undercurrent in the adult mind. In childhood, birthdays were about the world noticing you. As an adult, they are often about noticing yourself. The shift is subtle, but profound. Joy moves inward. Celebration becomes introspection. The ordinary becomes sacred. Walking alone, preparing a favorite meal, savoring quiet moments. These are the new balloons and candles. This is emotional maturity. Aligning values with actions, finding fulfillment without public applause. Psychologists term this self-concordant motivation. When inner truth and outward life match, satisfaction deepens. And yet, even the self-reliant quietly hope, perhaps for a call, a remembered message, a small gesture that says, "I see you." Even birthdays stripped of spectacle still carry the tension between self-sufficiency and connection. Emotional independence doesn't erase longing, it merely tempers its expression. Psychologists call it earned, secure attachment. Relying on oneself while retaining hope that someone might glimpse the heart beneath. Birthdays become subtle tests, unannounced, quietly observed. Who remembers without being prompted? Who sees you when you are not visible? Checking even in silence is human, not weak. Temporal self-awareness intensifies this dynamic. Birthdays force reflection on passage of time. Comparing past selves with present reality evokes gratitude, doubt, nostalgia, pride, or subtle disappointment. Adults blur the day into routine to preserve emotional equilibrium. It is not denial, it is self-preservation. And even in that quiet, the day carries weight. Subconscious inventory takes stock of changes, growth, and unresolved questions. Birthdays, stripped of expectation, function as checkpoints of consciousness. Am I living authentically? Am I becoming someone I recognize? Treating the day like normality does not escape these questions. It addresses them in solitude, without performance, without audience. Growth happens in quiet moments. New reactions, forgiveness, noticing beauty where it once passed unseen. And still, even self-contained adults deserve recognition. Gestures, however small, matter. The ones who shrug off birthdays often hold space for others' milestones. They remember, check in, give without seeking credit. It is easy to forget that they too deserve attention. Emotional nourishment matters, even to the calmest souls. Wanting connection does not diminish maturity, it affirms humanity. Treating a birthday like any other day is not apathy. It is integration. Maturity, in quiet form, the mind learns that meaning doesn't require spectacle. Internal celebration replaces public recognition. Yet even within this peace exists an echo of hope, a whispered wish that someone might notice, that one small acknowledgement might remind the heart of its worth. The paradox is human, grounded yet yearning, independent yet connected. Ultimately, birthdays shift from external validation to internal alignment, not about gifts or applause, but presence and reflection, a walk, a quiet meal, a moment of introspection. These replace balloons and candles. The quiet joy of existing fully, embracing life's ordinary magic, is a subtle, profound form of celebration. Yet remembering the child who once counted down with wonder remains essential. Whisper to yourself, I see you. Another year, we made it. This is the celebration that endures beyond candlelight. So if your birthday feels ordinary, honor it. It reflects growth, gratitude, self-awareness. Let it be a quiet acknowledgement of life itself. Not emptiness, not indifference. And if someone remembers, allow it. Let them affirm your existence, because even in independence, recognition feeds the soul. Celebrating quietly, treating the day like normal, and still allowing yourself to be acknowledged. This is the sophisticated, tender psychology of adulthood. The subtle evolution from spectacle to substance. The dance between being seen and seeing yourself. Because in the end, birthdays are never about age, they are about meaning. They are about acknowledging the journey, honoring the past, embracing presence, and quietly recognizing the self who continues to grow. Whether celebrated loudly or quietly, with fanfare or in stillness, the truth remains. You are here, you are becoming, you are alive, and that alone is worthy of celebration. Every single year,